Hi, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Simi Williams. I am so glad to have you join me here. I am someone who is really interested in knowing how the human psyche works because I truly believe that people don't just act the way they do. Like there has to be something responsible for people being wicked and evil and just all shades of messed up. Several literatures and published articles have actually attested to the fact that there is a reason why people act the way they do and why they have the outcomes in their lives. So if you're someone who is as curious about life as I am, then this is the channel you want to be. Now, there are a lot of other YouTubers who talk about relationships, what you should do when he does this, how to make him chase you, how to do this and do that. And that is good. I mean, it also has its place, but far more than getting someone to chase you, you really need to come to terms with who you are as an individual, understand who you are at your very core, which will then help you to make informed decisions about who to get married to, who to spend the rest of your life with, which is the same thing as marriage, what careers to choose, who to be friends with, and all of that. Because if you choose to situate yourself in an environment that is not best suited to you, definitely you will malfunction. All right, let's get right into the video. Signs that you are becoming toxic. Now, for every individual we'll come across, for every person who has ever being with us at one point or the other, they leave behind a residue of their personality. If you hang around a couple of people for a long time, they will rub off on you. Influence, atmosphere. There's something to be said about the atmosphere you're consistently under. So if you're consistently around a negative set of people, definitely at some point or the other, you also start to become negative. Your view of life becomes negative. But if you hang around positive people long enough, go-getters, visionaries, you start to see that they will put fire under your bum, and you also start to become positive and passionate about pursuing purpose and all of that. Now, I'm gonna come from the angle of relationships because I mean that is really what I am interested in. Every person you ever date or will date, of course, will leave behind a residue of their personality. And because relationship occurs at a very deep emotional level, this influence is really deep-seated, that at a point in time you start to sound like them, you start to talk like them, you start to dress like them, you start to walk like them, you start to think and be like them. So if you've had a slew or a plethora of toxic people in your life, chances are that to a very large extent you have learned some of their behaviors and that has now become a part of you. So the very thing you continue to condemn, you continue to criticize, has now become you. I'll put that another way. You may have now become the very thing you continuously condemn, criticize, and judge. So if you had once dated a toxic person and the relationship lasted for about a year or two, chances are that even after the breakup, aside the pain that you're nursing in your heart, you have learned some of their character traits, and it has now become a part of you, either subconsciously or as a result of the pain that you have been inflicted. For example, if you got together with a toxic person whose toxicity manifests in constantly getting you to yell and defend yourself and flare up and all that, you will see that if you're consistently defensive because you're with this person who doesn't trust you, who is constantly monitoring all your moves, is constantly asking questions. When you are with this person, you're always shouting, always yelling, always flaring up, always on the defensive, you're always having to prove your innocence, having to prove this and that. When that person leaves your life, you might find yourself with a very low threshold for tolerance, and that's because you have exhausted and you have drained out whatever capacity you have to persevere or to withstand people's mistakes here and there, because we are human, we are fallible, we often make mistakes. So whereas you used to be the person that gives their friend the benefit of the doubt, whereas you used to be the person that will always allow people to explain themselves before you flare up, now you don't even have time to do that. Once anybody rubs off on you wrongly, the next thing you do, you flare up. You become so inflammatory. The very littlest things just get you angry, and you really cannot understand where the anger is coming from. I relate to this all too well because this is me. The very last person I encountered who showed me the most shege in my life left me so drained and exhausted that I had little to zero energy to interface with other people. By the time he was done with me, I was no longer who I used to be. I used to be gentle, like calm, and I hated confrontations. If there's about to be a fight between you and I'm just gonna keep quiet. Just keep saying what you gotta say. I've got nothing to say. Like, I hate it. I dread confrontations because I hate the all back and forth that happens and occurs. But with this person, because I was constantly defensive, y'all, because my blood was constantly boiling because this person makes the tiniest issue into the biggest deal ever, and you spend hours and hours and hours and hours just dragging what is really not necessary, wasting valuable time talking about meaningless nonsense. I was almost going insane, y'all. So when this person left, I found out and I realized that I was no longer who I used to be. I had evolved into this person that no longer cared what you had to say when you offended me. Like, you shouldn't even offend me at all. So whatever it is you do or say afterwards, I don't want to hear it. If you offended me, you're out. Peace out, just go. I'm gonna cut you off, literally. You got one chance, just one. After one strike, you're out. I'm working through that. Like, I am working on extending grace to people and just giving them benefits of the doubt. Like, no one sets out to hurt you, girl. Like, they are your friends. These people are your friends. It's normal for friction to occur between two persons. It's total natural normal way of life. You can't expect people to not offend you. So when they do and then they apologize, just let it go. So a sign that you're becoming toxic is that you're beginning to manifest the symptoms and the traits of the person that left you, who you called toxic. You cut people off at the slightest mistake or the slightest error. All right, so the second sign that shows that you're becoming toxic is that you're never truly happy for people and you're constantly competing with other people, your friends in particular. So if you find out that you are never truly happy for people and you actually want people's own to spoil, then interpret that in Yoruba, it means you're toxic. You're toxic. You're toxic. I put it to you that you are toxic. So imagine this scenario. You're on Instagram. Of course, I always use Instagram because that's where people curate this perfect lifestyle. So imagine you're on Instagram. There's this girl that you see. She's supposed to be your age mate, right? And she has all these things that you don't have. She has a banging body. She has a gorgeous boyfriend. She has money in her bank account. She's using human hair. She's traveling from Barbados to Mauritius to Ghana to UK to this to that. She's getting all these roles. She's getting all these hosting gigs and all that. Like, she is everywhere and just killing it. And you are there with this stank look on your face. Like, what does she even have? She can't even speak English. And you're trying to look for our weaknesses or our flaws and the things that you don't have to make yourself feel better about yourself. You can go like, oh, I said it. She only has one kidney. Oh, I said it. Oh, I said it. Oh, her legs are knock. She has knock knees. She has knock knees. Anyway, thank God I don't have knock knees. If you were trying to downplay other people's achievements, to elevate, to big yourself up, or to make yourself feel better about your state in life, you are toxic. Point blank, period. See, when you hear that some ladies killed their girlfriends, their besties on their birthdays because bestie will be getting married in 2 days and a friend killed her, this is where it starts from. Thinking that your friend has stolen what rightfully belongs to you just because she's doing well for yourself and you perceive that you're not doing as well as she's doing. That makes you a bad and terrible person. That makes you really toxic. There's a difference between jealousy and envy. Everybody, a little bit of jealousy is healthy. If you're jealous, it's a pointer to you. There is something you desire and you want to have, and it behoves you to work towards it. You can get it. There is something you admire about a person that you like to also have. And if you work hard and long enough, you will have it. That's jealousy. Envy is admiring what someone has, hating that they have it, thinking yourself better than they do, and wishing that that which they have is taken away from them so that they are relegated to the background or relegated to your level. Because, of course, when you envy someone, you're already admitting that they are superior. They're here, they are here, and you are here. All right? I used to do this, I beg your pardon. I used to do this where I would see all these young ladies. You know, you have a lot of young millionaires these days, yo. It's very easy to become a millionaire if you know what you're doing, okay? So if you see young people, like young persons, 21, 22, 23, just making all this money and living large and traveling everywhere, traveling first class, driving these big cars, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. Or they're going to hell. You're a hater. That's who you are. Period. You are a hater. And it's not just limited to Instagram. If you cannot be genuinely happy for your friends when they are getting married, or when they just secure an admission to study abroad, or they get a scholarship, or when you realize that their levels have changed, right? When you cannot be genuinely happy for them, you are toxic. You become exhausting and you drain out your friends. You literally cannot be in a group of people and your voice is the loudest. You critique, you criticize everyone around you. You look at your friend and you're like, oh, what are you wearing? Like, what are you wearing? You never elevate or commend people or apologize. You find it incredibly hard to apologize. You probably apologize once in a year. You are toxic. You never say sorry. People tell you that what you're doing is wrong. You know what you're doing is wrong, but to say sorry is a no for you. You literally offend someone, they tell you you've offended them, and your answer is, I was just joking. Why do you have to take it like that? And when you can clearly see that your behavior was offensive, they were hurt by what you said, instead of saying sorry, you start to dismiss their feelings, you start to gaslight them, you start to invalidate how they're feeling, insisting that you're joking, when apparently they've told you that you offended them. And even when you're going to say sorry, your sorry can sound something like, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry, which is a non-apology. I'm sorry you feel that way is a non-apology, because now you're pushing the onus, the responsibility on them. So when you realize that you find it hard to say sorry, you cannot apologize, when you're around your friends, you always have got to have the last word in. You know everything. The be-all, end-all, the Dalai Lama of all knowledge on this planet. And whatever anyone else says doesn't matter to you. And when you do say sorry, you're not remorseful. You're not saying sorry so that you will change. You're saying sorry so that the person can just shut up and be done with it. Whatever it is you're told to apologize for, you keep repeating it over and over and over and over again. You don't take other people's feelings into consideration. You just do what you want to do because you want to do it. You call it self-love. No, it is selfishness, baby. It is being self-centered and being self-absorbed, baby. So it's better you just stay on your own and don't relate with people. If you're going to be around people, if you're going to be friends with people, if you're going to be in a relationship with people, you need to hold space for them as well. Respect them. It's basic courtesy to listen to what someone is telling you when they tell you that I don't like what you're doing, and change. So if you're this kind of person that you shut people out when they have a different opinion from you, you find it incredibly hard to apologize, your tolerance level is so low, you never give anybody benefits of the doubt. Once they offend you, that's the end. You cut them off, and you are never incredibly happy or genuinely happy for people when they succeed. You don't celebrate people and their wins. You're constantly competing with your friends. You, my sister, are toxic, and you need to change. You need to change. We all are trying to evolve into the best version of ourselves, into a better version of ourselves. We need to begin to let go of all this baggage you have adopted, either as coping mechanisms from pain that has been caused us, or because we didn't know any better. We need to begin to let go of all this baggage, because the thing with these character flaws and traits and weaknesses is, right now you may be good, you don't really see the effects and the results right now. It's when you become bigger. It's when you get married. It's when you become a mother that you start seeing that these traits really are not helpful. It's going to reduce the quality of your life drastically because nobody want to be around you for so long. It can only carry a negative atmosphere for so long before people look at you and go like, I don't want to be friends with that person. I don't want to be friends with her. When you're around her, she never elevates your spirit. She's always talking you down. She's always talking behind other people's backs. She's always gossiping. I don't want to be around her. You will send people away because your aura is going to be so dark. No one is going to want to be around you. Now, I believe that every man is a work in progress, but if you can begin to be aware of how you show up in your relationship with people, with the world, at the workplace, it's easier to deal with and handle your flaws and excesses. It's strength. It's a sign of strength for you to be able to admit that, okay, this is who I am right now, that I'm working on myself right now. I am sorry that my behavior offended you. I didn't intend to do that, but I take responsibility for offending you this way, and I am sorry. It would not repeat itself. I'm sorry for how my actions made you feel. That is an apology. Not saying that I'm sorry you feel that way. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now that looks like what this person used to do to me? I'm sure you'll see one or two. I am sure. If you can remember who you were before you started dating, compare that person with who you are right now and see just how wide the margin is. I can say that for myself. The other day I had a fight with a driver. I was done. I was like, who was that person? I was engaging in an argument with a driver, me. 2 years ago, if you're as much as shouted at me, I would keep short. Like, I don't like confrontations. Here I was telling the driver that, are you gonna beat me? Do you wanna beat me? I'm not your girlfriend. Go tell your girlfriend. I don't do that. That's so ratchet. That is a ratchet behavior. That is not something I would do on a normal day. But guess what? I did it not once, but twice. I was reacting to everything. I started to react to everything. That is not who I am. That is not who I am. I became this person for a reason, and I'm working on it. And I think you should work on yours too. If you see yourself act a certain way, don't just overlook it and go like, just one of those things. No, call yourself back and go, why did I act like that? Why did I act like that? That is not me. I wouldn't have done that under normal circumstances. Why did I do that? Why? What can I begin to do right now that will help me to stop acting in that way? You need to pray. You need to study the word on anger management, living above your feelings. Do that. Because this journey of evolution takes intentionality and deliberateness. You have to be intentional. It's very easy to pick up the vices, the terrible behaviors. Very, very easy, but hard to adopt and maintain good habits. If you want to become a better person, you need to deliberately work on yourself to let go of those things that are very natural to you. You want to give it to people, bad boost. But really, is that really the way to go about it? We were talking about emotional intelligence. This is what I'm trying to teach here. Like, one has to be emotionally intelligent. You don't react to everything people do to you. You don't react. You respond. You don't react. Thank you so much for watching my video. Again, for the umpteenth time, please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. I love you. To your success. Bye.